Okay, guys. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Ignore the glare in my glasses. I have two lights in my room and they're beaming. Um, it's winter time, so it's dreary outside, and the overcast makes it a little bit dark in here. So I'm just checking out my hair. This is a 2-day old hairdo, and I'm going to work just like this, not even touching it up. But it's time for part two of my story about myself, my husband, and my family. Okay, so get into it. Um, I am a new YouTuber. Um, I hope to bring a fresh look and a fresh content to the channel because I want to lead with my truth. Um, I did the first um, part of this story time uh, a few days ago, where I told you all about my husband. But I rewatched that video and I realized that I neglected to say that um, we met um, 29, the late part. We talked, conversated, um, 2010 or so. We decided that we were going to make it a relationship. Okay. And so we started doing that. We started talking regularly. I was sending him a little money. When I would go, I would bring items for him and the family and things like that. Um, He was a Tyler. He actually was self-employed. He had his own little business, had a couple little workers. So he was doing good for himself out there in Jamaica. The back injury. This was all pre-back injury. So he was doing good. He was happy. He had, his life. But also, he was still seeing um what I thought to be the youngest child's mother. And she was pregnant with baby number two while we were married. Um, so that baby was born in 2013, the same year that he left Jamaica and came here. So that was a brand new baby. So, all of this lets me realize why he grew to hate me so, because he felt like I was the reason why he wasn't able to be with his kids. And I couldn't send him home to Jamaica, frequently like that. I mean, since we've been together, he's been back to Jamaica 3 times, to visit. Um, and that's more than what a lot of people do once they leave Jamaica. So I think that that was pretty decent. Let me try to lift these glasses up because the glare is killing me. Make sure I do a little eye check. Uh, because people don't tell you nothing. You could have a big old eye booger standing right in front of somebody. They won't say anything. You can have celery seeds and spinach in your teeth, and most people won't even say anything. So you got to check on yourself sometime. But back on task. So yeah, I went out. I visited him. You know I thought everything was good. He was a much different person uh in Jamaica than he was when he was here, when he got here. And the truth about it is that he seemed happy, but he was very, very despondent. And he also had this sadness about him. And I told him, I said, you know what? Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, I want to do it. Just want to get to the United States so bad. For what? Why? So, anyway, he comes over 2013 and the begins. Okay, right off the bat he starts disrespecting me by not coming home or coming home very late because he's out hanging in the streets with his cousin, who incidentally just wanted him to be here to work for him, while he went on a little thug vacation, if you get my drift. Um, and so he took care of his business. This cousin, I'm gonna go ahead and have a little seat on the bed here. Um, Baby stuff. And so we'll be getting a new bed too, you guys. And so I will be revealing that soon. But anyway, we had a real rough first, couple of weeks. And then finally, somehow he made up his mind that that was not acceptable to me because I told him 100 times, and that he was being unfair and that he wanted to be at home. And so he started being at home more. But I think he only made that decision because the cousin wasn't going to be here anyway. So he wasn't going to have anywhere to go anyway, you know, or to hang out. And mind you, this is the cousin who um tried to introduce him to someone else at his church. Okay. And who's supposed to be a great friend of mine. I was friends with the cousin, hence the way I met my husband, my husband, my soon to be husband. Well, whatever. Anywho, so intro back to 2015. When he came back from Jamaica, I was still currently pregnant. We moved, and once we moved here, where we're currently living now, where I'm currently living with my daughter, um, nothing seemed to get better. It just seemed to just go downhill slowly. He wasn't talking to me in the home. We had no conversations. We could literally sit in a room together for hours and be watching TV, looking on our phones, doing whatever. And the only time we really had conversation is when wanted to, you know, do rudeness, as he calls it. You want some rudeness. hmm so there will be a little bit of banter, a little conversation, or something about the baby. Now, mind you, I did everything. I did all the doctor's appointments. I did the majority of the grocery shopping because he didn't eat American food when he was here. He would barely eat anything that I cooked. Okay. He always cooked because that's what he wanted to eat. So having a hot meal at night when I came home from work was an easy win-win because he would cook because he needed to eat and he wanted to be able to take a hot meal with him for his dinner at work. So that really was really more so for himself, Um he didn't do any of my laundry. He did his clothes and the baby's clothes, and I did my clothes and the baby's clothes. So nothing was really like a family. We didn't join money. We didn't do anything. The only thing we did was join our bodies and make a baby. Because that, my idea of marriage versus his idea of marriage, I don't even think he had an idea of what marriage was supposed to be. I don't think he knew what type of devotion was supposed to go into that, what type of love, what type of uh, feeling and emotions that are supposed to go into a marriage. I don't think he knew that. Um, and so now that I uh, have gotten to the point where I'm starved of love. I don't have any affection. I'm living in the house with someone and I am not having any communication with this person. So I'm at a point now where, I'm angry. It's like, you want sex? Boy, bye. The only time I would give in is when I have my own needs. And then I had to say to myself, Jay, um you're married, this is your husband, and you should be doing your wifely duties, some sex and everything, because I was the breadwinner, you guys remember that. I was the one working two jobs. I was working a 10 to 6 overnights, being away from the home, away from my baby. Okay. And then I was working 8 to 5 at my day job. But my 10 to 6, that client passed away. So that ended before I had the baby, actually. So I'll recant that. But I did have a client that I was working for after I had the baby. And I would have to take the baby with me to work. because he didn't want to keep the baby. Like, I literally was taking the baby to work with me at a nursing home where I had a client. She was in the home, but the family wanted to sell the house because she was, getting older, and there was no need to keep this, 250,000, $300,000 home that she was living in alone, which I loved, by the way. And so I was restricted to being with her in this small room at this nursing home that she was in. And because the baby was a infant, and it was weekends that I was working, I would work on the weekends only. And so it was good pay. It was like $17 an hour, just to really just be with her, to sit with her, because they didn't trust the nursing home. And they wanted to look out for me because she had been a client of mine for a while, and I appreciated that. And so yeah, I was taking the baby with me to the nursing home. The people at the nursing home was getting to know her and everything, because he felt like on the weekends he wanted to go be with his mistress. Okay, so, you know, it is what it is. The lies and just the deceit of it all. And what he doesn't understand is this, is that my truth is that I lived with a man that I was married to, but I didn't know anything about, really. I really didn't know him because he wouldn't go to dinner. We've never went out on a dinner date together. We've never had a date night. He never bought me flowers up until recently. He wasn't giving me birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, nothing. Um, Consistently, I will say he did give me a few things, a couple purses here and there throughout the years that we were together. Um, Maybe some sweatpants a couple times, like some clothing items a couple times. No shoes, no boots, no coats, no hats, no sunglasses, nothing. But I was buying all of that for him. Shoes, socks, pants, shorts, Gansies, which is a wife beater to us, t-shirts, you name it, I was doing it. Everything. I was supporting the family the way a wife should. I was doing my part. But as a husband, he wasn't doing his part. He felt like because I had the baby and after my 6 weeks were up, I had to go back to work. And during that time, they scheduled his first back surgery. So he did the surgery and he came home, and the baby was an infant at the time. You don't have to pick her up a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And you just have to really just be with her, get up, make a bottle, feed her. She can lay here on the bed. You don't have to pick her up. Just be with her, because I have to work. And during this time, um, she had been put in daycare. And as you know, a single family income that I had, the way my finances were set up, was not going to allow me to be paying no $250 a week, plus the rent, plus the power bill, the gas bill, the car note, the car insurance, the medical insurance, paying for the medications, buying the food, and all of that. And still the clothes, the diapers, and all of that. It was all me. But he wasn't looking at that. He was only looking at the fact that um the state wouldn't help pay to take care of the child. Once um he was cleared by the doctor, they were like, well, we're not going to help you pay for daycare anymore. And at that point, I couldn't keep her in daycare. I couldn't afford that. You see what I'm saying? And he just didn't seem to understand that you not working is putting stress on this family, because a two parent household should have two incomes. And because we didn't have two incomes, if it wasn't for the fact that I was working, we would be homeless. We would have no car. Things just would not have been good for us. So I'm wondering, while he's holding on to his anger about that, is he giving any credence to the fact that I kept a roof over our heads and kept us grounded? and you're not working and not being able to work and coming here with your back injured was not my fault. So I didn't deserve any of this that happened, that went down. I mean, the arguing in front of the baby, the yelling, the calling me out of my name, I mean, this man would insult me, insult my children, my adult children. Um, yeah, he was right about some of the stuff, but still, that's not your place, sir. Because I had nothing but love for his kids, even though at the time they were very young and they didn't know me and they didn't want me in their lives, you know, and that's understandable. However, he just didn't understand that his contribution to keep an infant while I worked was what a parent is supposed to do. And he says all the time, for the first 2 years of her life, I was this, I did that. Not we, just I. He's always only thinking about himself. It's never what we did. It's never that I stayed with the baby while you worked to provide the roof over our heads. Because if I didn't work, we wouldn't have had a roof. And nobody would have been staying with the baby for 2 years. Okay. So I just don't understand how he doesn't understand how that works. Jamaican or not. It was just a crock of BS. Okay. It was just another reason for him to hate me, to not be affectionate and to not be a husband, emotionally. It was just another dig at that. That's how I felt. And truthfully, he cannot apologize enough for the treatment that he gave me. You know what I'm saying? And um I was foolish to stay, but I was married, you guys. I wanted the marriage to work. Okay. I wanted my daughter, my last child, to have both of her parents, to be able to rely on her mother and her father. And because he was doing what he was doing, I was not going to go out there and cheat and lie and be looking for someone else, because I could have been looking for somebody else too. The entire marriage, this man was seeking another woman until he found one. Okay. And as I said before, he tried to talk to a friend of a friend um, in the past. Uh, So we're gonna call her Jenny. Okay. So after I talked to Jenny and then he was all mad and acting all sideways and stuff, we agreed that we weren't gonna let that affect us. That when we saw each other, because we've known each other for such a long time, we were still gonna be cordial and still speak to one another, That was what we decided, because I'm a grown up, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be blaming the woman when I know that this man knew that he was married. She might have not known because he didn't wear a ring, but he knew. So he gets all the blame in my book. That's just how I look at it. Now, if she would have continued to talk to him after finding out, then I might have would have had an issue with her. But I didn't have any issue with her. And so, yeah, so after the baby came and he had to watch her while I worked, he got angrier and angrier about it. And then one day, I mean, I literally thought he was better. And one day we were in the living room and he just sort of almost collapsed and said, "It's my back." And I had to literally pick this grown man up and help him to the bed. Um, by morning, we had called the surgeon and we were back in the hospital. Um, they said nothing was wrong, but he had developed a condition called a cardio equina, where he could have been paralyzed from the chest down. Um, it was an emergency situation, and he had to have an emergency surgery. Uh, that was really hard because I, it was just out of the blue. And I was very scared. The surgery took like 2 hours longer than it should have. So I was very worried at that point, and with good reason, because neither of these surgeries served its purpose to make him better. They only made him worse. And so I sympathize and I empathize with the fact that he was in tremendous pain. Um, and it just consumed him. I'm not going to give him a pass for the cheating and the lying, because if he was in such pain, would you be looking for another woman? I don't know. But what I do know is that after that surgery, he came home and then had to go to rehab. Um, he stayed in rehab for a while this time around. I don't know why they wouldn't let him go to rehab the first time, especially after we went back to the hospital the next day after going home. But yeah, so he was in rehab for a while. And then after that, he came home and continued our roles, but it didn't get any better, you guys. It's just like he never said, I love you, I appreciate you. It was just all bad, you know? And now that it's over and I'm looking inward into the relationship, I did a lot to try to keep that marriage once our daughter was born. I compromised a lot about who I was as a person, so much that I lost who I really was. And that was so ingenuous to myself. I really hated everything about that relationship. I was walking on eggshells every day. Um, this was our schedule. I would go to work on the weekends, sometimes taking the baby, sometimes not. Then I would come home and I would work Monday through Friday during the day, and then I would come home. But when I would come home, I would come into the bedroom and assume the mother role, and he would leave the bedroom and go out on the couch or go outside if it was summer months and be there for hours upon end. I'm talking about hours on the couch till he falls asleep. Sometimes he would fall asleep and stay out there all night and then come in here and get on the bed at like 5 in the morning because he knows I'm getting ready to go to work. So it just was like we were roommates with a baby. hmm Roommates that didn't like each other with a baby. I loved my husband, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't in love with him because this man was not the man that I met in Jamaica, you guys. He really wasn't. Um, there was just no love there. I 100% feel more like he cares a lot for me more now than he did when we were married. I mean, when we were together, living together, because he's not here now. He's not living here now. And then when he comes here, I told y'all he brought me, well, I didn't tell you, but he brought me flowers last weekend. That he just showed up like he just had to come and see me, see us, me and the baby. But he brought me flowers. And then after we got into an argument, then he tried to clean it up. Like he just gave me the flowers because he appreciated me for taking good care of our child. But okay. Anyway, so I'm going to end part 2 of this story time here because I do have to go to work. She is a working girl. But stay tuned for the channel. I ask that you like the video. Please subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that anytime I post content, you can get that content. Because this story time gets really juicy, you guys. I mean, really juicy. And at the end of the story time, I have a huge reveal for you all. Stay tuned. And please feel free to comment on the video, critique, ask me questions, tell me what it is that you really want me to tell you, and I will. I just ask that you all help me get my subscription numbers up. It doesn't take anything just to push the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It's not going to hurt anybody, but it's surely going to help this body. And I also want to end with, remember that even if you are not being good to yourself, please be kind and be good to others. It takes just 1 second to smile. Thank you. Have a great day. Um, yeah, that's it. I think I covered everything that I needed to cover right now. But like I said, it takes 1 second to smile. Even if you don't got a beautiful smile. Hell, I got missing teeth, but that don't stop me from smiling, baby. It doesn't stop me from smiling. And I hear that I got a beautiful smile. So it encourages me. Check out the dimples. Oh, check out the dimples. But I really would like you guys to come on in, join myself, Jay, and my beautiful daughter, Raya, as we bring to you a variety of content on this channel, little mukbangs, little story times, little foolishness, all of that. Little videos of my baby just being my baby. So I just hope that I can bring to you all the content that you want. We're gonna be doing some challenges. I got some older kids. They're gonna be joining in. I got sister, brothers. We're gonna try to make this be just nothing but just real content. Like no fakeness. You like I said, you rarely gonna get an edited video from me. If you get an edited video, it's only because I want to throw a little razzmatazz on there. Um, a little sparkle and a little something, a little glitter or something. But right now, I just want to thank you all. Oh, these glasses and these lights. I just want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank those of you who've watched my videos, who's watching this story time about my marriage. And you all have a wonderful day. And I'm going to use my daughter Raya's tagline right now. Subscribe, like a channel. Peace.